Hi everyone! Welcome back. We have another video about our most important things that every prepper should have. And I want to say happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
And I hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving dinner and meal and time with family and friends.
Yes.
Yes.
And the thing about Thanksgiving is that now we're seriously getting close to what could be very bad weather season. You don't know what could happen. We're at that time of year where you could get an ice storm, you could get a snowstorm, you could get a combination of both. So we want to talk about being prepared for anything that could happen to you.
Yes, I kept my hat on.
Yes, because it was cold outside already.
Yeah.
Very cold.
Well,
17
he drove
degrees.
me out where there's like, what, 100, 150 trees that need to be cut up for wood?
There's quite a few. Maybe not that many, but there's quite a few, yes.
Yeah, there is quite a few, and we were out there only about 10 minutes, and I'm frozen, my ears hurt, so I'm keeping my hat on. And also my hair is a mess from the wind, so please ignore me. Okay, the number one thing, in my opinion, that we need to focus on as preppers and being prepared for any situation is our health. And what I mean by that is being healthy, what we eat, do we work out daily, do we stretch, do we meditate, do we pray,
Right.
Whatever it is a combination of everything.
It's an everyday thing. You're prepping hoping that nothing's going to happen. But if you don't have your help, all the prepping that you've done leading up to anything isn't going to help at all if you don't already have your help. So this is kind of a daily thing that you've got to be reminded of, because again, you can prep for anything that could happen, but if you don't have your help, it's not going to have done you any good at all.
Right, so we feel that's the number one thing, and we're not going in order, but we feel like the importance of these things need to be brought up. And this is something that not everybody mentions. Some of these prepper channels are really good at talking about working out, taking vitamins, things like that, and that's kind of why we have a few things here for our first one, and our health. And this is something that's very important to me because he got me hooked on it 14 years ago, and we take it every day. We do not get sick, we don't get flus and things of that nature, and what we do is we literally have this drink here called Shakeology from a company called Beachbody, and yes, we are both coaches, yes, we've been drinking this, but we don't promote it in that way. We just do it for our health. We follow a lot of the programs, P90X, Insanity, and you want to answer that?
Beachbody, that was the one that I did for the weight.
Yeah, I did the weight
which was very good as well. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it's very important to have a nutritional drink, whichever one you choose. We just chose this one here, but because you can have a lot of nutrients in just compressed, a lot of nutrients in one meal, basically.
Oh yeah, there's like 75 ingredients of vitamins and minerals and probiotics and prebiotics and all types of rare organic stuff. So there's stuff on here. I'm sure if you want to look this up, feel free. You can do your own research. Shakeology. It's the best thing out there because it's helped my immune health from colds and flus and stuff. And before this, I used to get it really bad 2 or 3 times a year. You remember that?
Right. And of course, medical disclaimer, we are not doctors, we are not giving medical advice.
We're not nurses
We're
or
just telling you what we do. This is what we do, and this is part of our, what we call prepping routine, because we want to be prepared every day. So that's part of our prepping routine. You see, I like to mix it with some cacao powder just to have a little extra flavor in it.
And the reason that you do that is, if you watch the channel at all, you know that I'm very picky, and instead of having that chocolate syrup, which I love on ice cream and things, it's so full of high fructose corn syrup. It's terrible.
Yeah.
So he said, let's switch to this. Now this tastes better, but yeah, it's
fewer
healthy.
Calories, right?
Yeah,
and
really
this
healthy.
is actually an organic cacao powder that we found. Just pick that up at Walmart, actually.
Yeah, do your research. This is better than the Hershey syrup.
Much better.
I love Hershey syrup, but it's not good for us. So again, that's really important. And something I do, I know I drive them crazy with this, but vitamin C, immune health, airborne, chewable vitamin C's, gummies, whatever it is, make sure you're getting your dose of vitamin C every day. And this time of year, you really should be doubling it. So I like to eat this. This is immune health. That's my favorite. Just plain old gummies, vitamin C for you. You're fine with that. And whenever we feel possibly something coming along, we have emergency, and it just helps kind of boost our immune system. Now, you don't take this every day, only when you kind of feel like something's coming on, and maybe if you're sick, take it while you're sick, and then keep taking it for about a week after you're sick.
You want to keep your immune system strong. Very important to keep your immune system strong. That's part of when we talked a little bit, I'm not going to touch on it too much in this video, but working out, both cardio and strength training, is also going to help your immune system. It's just going to keep your body functioning the way it should.
Right. Yeah. Since I have asthma, cardio is my number one thing to keep my lungs strong and healthy. And he has a broken back from a car accident when he was young and kind of wild.
So I have to strength train to keep
yes,
back muscles strong.
You have to have your muscles strong. And then we both need these vitamins.
Vitamin D booster.
And it's really important that you think about and remember vitamin C and vitamin D. They really were important in 2020. And that's all I'll say on that. I think you know what I'm talking about. So make sure you have your vitamins when you feel something come on. Double the amount of vitamins each day. Yeah, and just your health. That's our number one is health.
Yes, if you're strong, your health. If you don't have your health, you're not going to have anything at all. And so you can have all the prepping in the world and all the supplies in the world, but if you don't have your health, it's not going to do you a bit of good.
Oh, exactly. And you're strong. You're very strong, and I'm just surprised by that. And for being 60, I still can run very fast. I can get around because of my cardio. So I think together we make a good team.
Right.
Yep. And if you see, I'm not sure if you see, this one is Angel. You've seen her. And then Aries is sitting behind me, almost taking my whole chair. Our golden doodle, who's always in trouble. So that's our number one, your health. Whatever it is to make you healthy, please do so.
Right.
Right?
Yep.
Okay, moving on. Now our next thing, and now from here on out, the importance of these is not in order. It's just what we think you have to have.
Right.
So I believe the next thing would be water. Without water, you don't survive. And that's a short window. You have to have water. And what's that? Was it 1 gallon?
1 gallon per person per day is what you're going to need. So if you had some type of power outage or you had a snowstorm and you were snowed in, you want to keep in mind for each member of your family member 1 gallon per day. So you want to stock that. We did one of our other videos and you can look at that and see various different ways to save water, to store water, and what you should buy for water, the importance of rotating your stock that you always have, things you can do for that. But water is definitely number one. You're not going to survive without water.
Yeah, you have to have water. So we'll put up a link to the video that we talked about water and how important. And it's probably the most important thing because without water, you're not going to survive. Yes, number one is your health. But whether you're healthy or not, you're not going to survive more than 3 or 4 days without water.
Really,
so
realistically, 3 days without water. Yeah, you can make it longer without food, but without water, you're doomed.
Oh, exactly. So have plenty of water on hand, and I would have 30 days worth. So think about that. If you have a family of 4, gotta have 4 gallons per day for you guys, and don't forget your pets, maybe 5.
So they're gonna need water. Yeah.
So 5 gallons per day is what, 150 gallons for the month? That's a lot of water. It's a lot more than you realize. So,
but there's a lot of ways to save it. You can buy cases of water. Always rotate those cases of water. You can buy jugs of water. We have in one of our videos different storage plans for water as well. So if you think there's a storm coming, we've got 5 gallon and 10 gallon jugs that we have that are specifically made for water storage. So we've got those ready.
Right.
And that's part of prepping is, knowing what's coming ahead, watching the weather reports, news reports, watching what's coming ahead. And if you think things coming ahead, start stocking up. Even if you're just getting tap water, you're going to be able to boil that tap water. But once an emergency happens, you might not have power. And if you have a well, you're not going to be able to run that well to get water. So those are very important things.
Right. And clean drinking water is so important. But if you're real picky like me, right, honey? I have to have my Evian water. Even if, SHTF, it hits the fan, it literally hits the fan, I'll drink anything. But it would be nice if I had Evian. And since I store lots of that, I'll be happy. And if I go,
rotate that stock, especially in the plastic
make
bottles.
sure I have Evian when I'm going, okay?
Right. And as far as that goes, the next thing we'll lead right into it right away is just the food that you have stored. Make sure you have canned goods. Make sure you have an opener for those canned goods.
Yes.
Ideally, you want to have some foods that you can eat if you were without any source of heat that you can eat and eat right out of the can that are already prepared. If you are still going to have a source of heat, things like noodles stay real well, pastas stay real well. Those are things that are highly filling.
Spam is edible.
Spam is edible right out of the can.
Right out of the
Tuna is edible
can.
right out of the
You
can.
can eat baked beans or beans right
Those
out of
vegetables right out of the can.
Uh-huh.
A lot of canned goods you can eat right out of the can. But again, also make sure when you're prepping that you're rotating your stock. Check your dates, write your dates down of when you are getting things, and then constantly be rotating that stock, because the worst thing is something to happen and all of a sudden you find out the food that you had already expired. So
Oh, exactly, because again, you can last maybe 3 weeks without food.
Right.
So we don't want to go a day without food, so prepare for that. And we were more like 10 days for prepping. We've changed our mindset. We're more of like a month now.
Right.
And we feel that we have all of that. I feel more secure knowing, hey, well, if something really did happen and it was that long before things kind of got back to normal.
yeah, exactly.
If
You
they
just
get
don't
back to
know in this
normal.
world what's going to happen.
And yeah, as you can see by the headlines, and if you're watching any news or anything that's going on in other countries, things are real dangerous and things are heating up. So it's got, I think,
So-
all of us preppers on.
Right. And speaking of food as well, we always make sure we have a 60-day supply for the girls here. And what we do is we rotate that out. So every month I buy a 30-day supply, but we already have a 30-day supply as well. So I'm always rotating that out. So I'm always going to have a 60-day supply of food for these girls, because you got to keep that in mind as well. You might not be able to get, if you're normally getting deliveries. I normally get their food delivered, but maybe I'm not able to get deliveries, or maybe I can't get somewhere to get them. So I have a 60-day supply of food for them. Very easy to do, and just keep, again, rotating it out. So that with winter coming, one thing that we have is not only a generator, but you also want to make sure that you are using that generator regularly, even just starting it up and using it, because the worst thing would do is go out, try to start your generator, and find out that it has stale gas
So this
in
would
it.
be what, number 4 then, if we're kind of going
Number
into
4 if you're going to
of
move around
importance.
the border.
So
Right.
if your power went out, how do you take care of your fridge? How do you take care of things that
Right. The things you absolutely have to have.
you have to have?
Right.
Heat.
As I mentioned too, we live out in the country, we do have a well. So if the power went out, eventually that well motor would not be pumping. So we have a generator that we can get our well motor to pump as well, so we'd be able to get water. We have that. Not everyone has that luxury of having their own well to be able to do that. We do have that.
Exactly.
Keep in mind when you have a generator, very important also that you're always rotating the gas that you have in it. So what I do is I have a couple of extra containers of gas everywhere, and I always fill my 4-wheeler up, I fill my riding lawnmower up, and I fill my generator up and my snowblower up. I get them all filled. Then make sure I use all that gas up, and then once they're all full, go fill those containers again. That way I'm always rotating that gas out, because again, you don't want to have stale gas. You want to have fresh gas in case of any emergency, and plenty of it. So again, generator and gas for the generator, very, very important.
And if you can afford it, I would get a Jackery or one of the many great, what are those called? The portable
generators.
portable generators, and it's good to have that on hand. It really is. Will it go for days? No, unless you get a real expensive big one.
Yeah,
there are
do your
different-
research, because some of the smaller ones, when you start looking at it, don't last very long, especially if you were to put anything that drained a fair amount of power at all. So you want to make sure you're doing your research on that if you're looking at that.
Exactly.
I like our gas generator, although you do have to use it outdoors. You can't bring your gas generator indoors. You have to use it outdoors. You'd have to
You
run
do
extension
need
cord
gas.
in. You need gas for that
You
as
need
well.
gas.
But as long as you don't have an extended period, the generator that we have is going to be just fine.
And if you can afford it, because this can be very costly, but to save your life or save yourself in a very it hits the fan situation, it's good to have a generator. It's good to have one of those portable Jackeries, that's the only name brand that's sticking in my head for some reason. We're not sponsored by it, so I'm just mentioning that. Have a portable generator.
Unless they're watching and would like to sponsor a video, we'd be glad to.
Jackery, if you want to sponsor a video, we'll be glad to take care
glad
of
to
that.
review one for you
Yes.
if you'd love to send us one. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll even give you a thumbs up. Do you have a thumbs up in yours?
You betcha.
Well, look at that. You have a thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
I hope we're giving you guys some good information. Okay, so our number 4-ish is generator,
Generator and gas, basically.
and definitely. Something to power your important things in your home if the power was out. Okay, so I guess our number 5. Okay, like I was saying, our number 5, which we next would be staying warm.
Sources of heat.
Yes.
Now, this kind of encompasses a few different things when you talk about sources of heat, but very important that you have a plan on how you're going to stay warm. Whether you have to go outside for some reason, maybe you have to shovel. You're snowed in, you have to shovel.
Curl up
These are
your
gonna help with
60-pound
that.
dog.
Right. They'll give you heat. But these are different sources of heat. Okay, so let's start there.
And so
Come on, Angel.
when we're sleeping, it's real interesting because
Come here.
these two dogs are definitely his, and they curl up and lay, if not on him, right next to him.
They're like my
Who
little
often wake
electric
up and say,
blanket,
"Man,
aren't
it's
you?"
too hot." I was like, "Well, you gotta scoot them over or something." But if they lie next to you, trust me, these dogs will bring off a lot of heat. Your
Yes.
pets, they are a great source of heat.
Good source of heat, aren't you, Aries? Huh?
Yeah, and since
Sure
we're
are.
talking bed and stuff, blankets. You just pile up with a bunch of blankets. And
Right.
body heat. Just the two dogs and Andy right here, us together,
You have a lot of heat.
a lot of heat.
Don't you?
Yes.
Don't you there, my group?
So this can be very simple, let's say the power goes out. You guys gather in one room. We have a tent. I'll pop that up now. That I was sitting in a tent with these guys and he was
Right.
filming me. And don't critique me. I know I was in a nightgown and looking scary. It's your fault.
So we also have like a sleeping bag that we got there. Just a
Sleeping-
nice, easy sleeping bag is going to be able to keep your body warm in there with you. So sleeping bag, very important for warmth. Remember when we talked about sources of heat, sterno is a very good thing to have. Very easy to use, safe type flame. You still have to be careful with any open flame, of course, but sterno is a very reliable source of heat, and you can use that heat for cooking, like we had mentioned before with canned goods. You can use that for that. You could even just use it to keep your hand warm, but you have that. And then we have a couple of boxes of both hand warmers and feet warmers. So the hand warmers here, very simply, will last up to
Yes.
10 hours.
Behave.
And we have, if anyone comes near us, we know because these two will give us a
So-
warning bark.
This won't be in our top 10, but besides having protection for your property, your homestead, whatever,
Right.
not to go off, but this is kind of dogs are the best thing. They hear a noise, they smell something funny, something that's out of the norm, they're going to bark and go crazy. So it's really
They're
good
gonna
to have
alert- They're going to
dogs.
alert you, yeah.
They're the
And-
best
Yep.
alarm and
Right,
you know,
and I always say, we protect our dogs. They're not to protect us, but they are a great warning sign. If anyone comes near the property, they let us know that someone's near the property. But we don't have to protect dogs; we protect them, basically.
oh, exactly.
But back to what we were talking
We were
about.
on heat,
Yeah,
keeping warm.
So hand warmers, these hand warmers will last up to 10 hours, and we also have feet warmers. These are really great if you did, as I said, have to go outside and you've got to shovel snow, something like that, or ice storm, and you need to go outside and it's cold out there. You can use these indoors as well, but we've got the feet warmer and the hand warmer both. Very important source of heat, very clean source of heat to keep you warm. And again, they'll last up to 9 hours on the feet warmers and 10 hours on the hand warmers.
And since we're in wintertime in the Midwest,
Yes.
you're going to find hand warmers in every Farm and Fleet, Home Depot, Menards, Walmart stores. So you can get, the foot warmers, the hand
But-
warmers, and all types of stuff.
Very good idea to get them now though, because it's just like snow shovels. If you bought them a month ago, great. But now, before there's actually prediction of a snowstorm coming this way, and if it does, those snow shovels are going to be sold out. So you want to get them
Snow
before they're
shovels
sold out.
in Wisconsin? We don't get snow here.
These two, get them now, because if you wait, there's a very good chance they're going to be sold out when you really need them if it's a really bad cold snap that's coming. That's part of prepping, being prepared, hoping you never need it, but being prepared for anything that could happen, and again, not waiting until the last minute to get what you need. Make sure you already have it.
Right. And
Yeah.
with heat, there's portable heaters. I have like 3 different portable. Would you stop it, Aries?
Yeah. And it
You
sounds
are always
like-
messing up every video, doesn't she?
Yes. Speaking of outside, I think someone needs to go outside, don't you there?
So the last thing is portable heaters, but if there's no
Yep.
electricity, you can get something like a
Careful.
Mr. Buddy or
Propane heaters, you gotta be careful with those, using those indoors. They say they're safe for indoors, but I'm always leery of
what
any.
Mr. Buddy goes is what the
Yeah.
Oh, they are propane.
Propane.
Yeah. And then they make ones
Propane.
that they use butane. You call it?
Butane and propane both. I'm leery of using those indoors, but they do say they're safe for indoors, so be careful on those. But as always, if you like what you're seeing, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, check out our other videos.
And we apologize for our
Yes.
crying little golden doodle.
Give us a thumbs up, we appreciate that.
Yep. So
I'm gonna take the Groodle outside.
that's a good plan. So moving on.